on this issue of God being there to protect us from suffering, the reason that at a very early age, I found that untenable is that I knew how much suffering there was in human history, and God allowed it to happen. So when people say they expected God to help them in their suffering, my first reaction is, well, but God didn't help billions of others when they suffered. Why didn't that trouble your faith in God? And I'm not saying this, God forbid, as a criticism or an attack, just as a logical question. I'll give you an example. I got a call on my radio show many years ago from a woman, said, Dennis, I just want you to know I was always opposed to capital punishment. So I never agreed with you, Dennis. And now I do. I go, really, why? I do because my brother was murdered, which is, of course, horrific. And I want the murderer put to death. So, of course, I offered my condolences. To have a loved one murdered is the word is overused. That's traumatic. But I didn't let it go with that. I said, so let me understand something. When anybody else's brother was murdered, you were against capital punishment. Now that your brother is murdered, you're for capital punishment. Why weren't you for capital punishment when all these other brothers and sisters were murdered? And the same thing I would say to anybody who says, well, I've endured this unjust suffering. Now I can't believe in God. So you could believe in God when all these other people in history have undergone unjust suffering? I don't get that. Intellectually, I just don't understand that.